Armed Services Committee member Senator Deb Fischer joins us now live. Senator, thank you for coming in today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, I want to ask you first about the administration late last week rolled out its new national security strategy, including the call for, quote, strategic patience. What do you make of what they've rolled out?
We have to have a strategy that addresses short-term issues that we're facing, but also looks long-term. We need to look at not just ISIS, Iran, North Korea, Russia, China, all those issues that are out there right now that I believe we need to address more forcefully, but long-term as well, whether it's cybersecurity, technology, try to get ahead of the game.
All right, this immediate threat that we have now with ISIS, how confident are you in moving forward with what we've been doing? The president has said we're doing everything we should be doing. There's still this question of him coming to Congress for the authorization for use of military force, which would, in some ways, force the administration to outline a specific strategy. Where do you stand on that timeline?
We need to clarify the end state. We need to support our partners in the area who are trying to help us with regards to ISIS. That's not happening right now. I'm happy to see Jordan has stepped forward again and is really hitting ISIS strongly. It was horrible, the death that we saw, the really barbaric execution of a pilot from Jordan. But that just proves the point that this is an enemy that we need to confront. We need to confront them with force. We need to be firm, and we need to have an end strategy. That hasn't happened with this administration. We're looking at training and equipping. We're looking at training and equipping and trying to get 5,000 troops trained from our partners. ISIS already has 30,000. General Dempsey told the committee in September that he needed a force of at least 12,000 to head this enemy off. That's a strategy for the short term that's going to take a long time to see it complete. And in the meantime, we have some members of the coalition who want to fight ISIL in Syria, but we need to be sure that we support them with night vision, with airplane parts, with the materials and the assistance that they need.
And as far as that assistance goes, there's a growing conversation about whether it's going to involve U.S. troops on the ground at some point. I mean, we have advisors there. There are thousands in that region, clearly, but the idea of combat troop or boots on the ground being there, what's your position on that? Do you think that it should be on the table, off the table, as the administration works through a strategy?
We have boots on the ground. As you said, we have advisors there. There's any number of them, thousands in Syria, also in Iraq. Those people are in harm's way. We need to be honest about that. But before I would ever commit boots on the ground in combat, as I said, we need to have a strategy. We need to have a plan. Who is going to be out there in defeating ISIS, and who's going to be there to take over that territory when we leave? That hasn't been determined yet. We need that long-term strategy.
What do you make of trying to figure out who are the best to equip there, who are the good guys, who are the bad guys, the fact that we're sending in those that are supposed to help train some of the moderates in Syria that we're counting on, even as many of them are under attack by Assad, who many would argue has crossed the red line this administration set for them years ago. It's a complicated stew over there.
It's very complicated, and it's multi-layered. If we are able to defeat ISIS, which I believe we must defeat ISIS, then we have the question of Assad. How do we confront Assad? Confronting Assad means we confront Iran. And how do we deal with Iran, with their forces, not just in Syria, but with their ambitions in the area and around the world? So it's multi-layered, and I haven't seen any strategy come out yet from this administration that's going to address that.
In the meantime, we have the nuclear program of Iran, the negotiations over that continuing. Has the administration been forceful enough in that discussion?
I think Congress needs to be forceful. And I'm looking forward to having Congress stand up, do our job, and be able to approve the deal that is going to be made between this administration and with Iran. This affects not just the region, Shannon, this affects us in the United States as well.
Senator Deb Fischer, great to have you with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.